GDC, it's on the way. There is also apparently a lightning round later. And Knights of the Old Republic is coming back? Anyway, what's going on, Matt?
We're doing a podcast. We're doing it 2 days late. Gamers 2.
We are doing it 2 days late. It was not the plan. The plan was 1 day late.
You know, I said 1 day. Why not make it 2 days? You know?
Yeah, why not? So what have you been up to the last 8.5 days?
Let's see here. The last 8.5 days, I have played 0 video games. 0. Going strong. Keeping up with the news, though. Other than that, what have I been doing? I've been keeping up with the anime as per usual. The volleyball anime started, I believe, last week.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
All right.
New season. Going strong.
Back up with those spikes, those sets, those passes, the digs.
Exactly.
The liberos.
One of the members of the team is on the Japanese national youth team.
Okay.
So good for him, you know. So, you know, you got to do that whole story arc where their setter is away. So, like, you know, the mice will play.
If anybody on any of my teams ever says that line, I'm just going to be like, I'm leaving. I'm good.
And rightfully so. Other than that, watch Shelby, a documentary called Shelby American.
Oh, okay. All right. Makes a lot more sense when you finish it.
Yep. You know, just a documentary on Shelby.
Of course.
It was interesting. It was definitely like Carroll Shelby. Interesting fellow. Doesn't have the cleanest history.
No, he doesn't.
And they kind of glossed over that.
Well, of course, because nobody wants to talk about it. They always want to talk. It's American history.
Yeah.
We don't discuss the atrocities we've committed as a country.
So
we are always the good guys.
So, yeah, that's fine. It was interesting, though, you know. And then Picard started.
It did start.
First episode of Picard. It's good. It's good. It's interesting. It's intriguing.
Is it good because it's getting your boy back and you're like, yeah, put me back in these universes? Or is it good because the show's actually good?
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, so it clearly has influences from Discovery, the new show, the new showrunner. There's like the guy that's taking over, like carrying the Star Trek torch.
Okay.
So it's not like, you know, what old Star Trek is. It's very much like a little bit more action, a little bit more like fancy special effects, a little bit more, you know, like shininess. But there was a lot of fan service as well, and there was a lot of callbacks that even I like I had to watch a video afterwards, and there was stuff I didn't pick up on. I was like, oh shit.
You're just like, okay, I guess we're really reaching.
It was. They reached deep, and they're like, we're gonna pick these things up, which it makes sense and it's interesting.
Y'all ever heard of blurgs?
That's the that's the nice part, is like they reached back and pulled things out in a meaningful way, and it's not like you can't look at it and say like, all right, this is where this is going. You know what I mean? Like it's like they could take it in several directions. So I've been enjoying that.
Baby Worf?
No Baby Worf.
Oh, well, all right then. I guess I just don't need to watch it.
No. We got Baby Data, maybe?
Not as intriguing to me. Because I feel like Baby Data would still be the same as Data. Like
no,
he would just be a baby
part.
that would be extremely direct.
That's the interesting part, is they're kind of going the route of, it's very Blade Runner-esque.
Oh, jeez.
So you have your androids, which they're now calling synthetics.
Okay, so we have synths.
For reasons. And
for reasons.
Yeah, there's a whole backstory thing about androids blowing up Mars, basically.
So we still have androids, but we just can't call them the same thing because people take offense.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's there. And other than that, but just been working on the house. Put a pocket door in, as you saw.
I did see, and I did try to curse your pocket door at the same time.
Yep. Did some framing 4 times, actually. Reframed the same wall 4 times.
Ooh.
Because,
Isn't it supposed to be...
no one's ever put a pocket door in, so that was a new experience. And then, like, my house is built in 1827 or whatever.
Well, yeah, by the time you framed it the first time, it changed when you had to frame it the second time.
Exactly. The thing's moving. It's like a house of mirrors. It's just like,
You're like, all right, if I take all this out now, I got to move everything 3 inches to the right. Because
there you go. It's 2:10 on a Saturday. The house is going to shift 3 centimeters to the right.
It's just one of those houses you just feel it lurch the other way, and you're like, oh, it must be 2 o'clock.
It works now, though, and we did the old double wall, because the problem is, you got...
One wall's not enough.
It's the pocket door problem. Pocket door saves you space, or so you think.
Not if you put 2 walls in.
You have to. Follow me on this, because the pocket door requires, if you get a standard 30-inch door, the pocket door has to travel also 30 inches into the wall.
Right.
So you're losing 60 inches.
It's either that or it has to be a collapsible door, which would look really weird.
Exactly. So you would lose 60 inches on a wall. So, like, if you're putting a bathroom sink on that wall, where the fuck are you going to put the plumbing if the wall is, 80 some odd inches or whatever? So, or however long it is. So it's not important. So what we decided to do was we did we basically put 2 2x4 walls on top of each other. So the wall is actually 8 inches deep. So you got the room for the pocket door.
So now I have your blast shelter.
Yeah, and you got room for the plumbing for the sink as well, and electrical and all that. So we'll see.
Unnecessary.
I don't know at this point. Maybe I'm not in charge. Clearly,
I only need 1 wall.
I don't know. I'm kind of thrilled because it's a pocket door. They're fun. Pocket door.
Y'all hear about them pocket doors?
Pocket door. That's
pocket sand, pocket door.
That's about it. I feel like there was other things that happened, but if I can't remember, it's not important. So
the story of my life, except for usually something was important at some point. When I first thought of it.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I've been away.
You have been away.
I've been in the Texas.
Did you bust out the old cowboy hat?
No, I was expecting to get one when I landed. That also did not happen.
Like a lay?
Yeah.
In Hawaii?
Yeah. But I walk out and they're like, yeehaw, here you are. Here's this, here's your boots, and there's your horse. Take it to the hotel.
That'd be great.
That'd be dangerous. Here's your gun, and here's everything else we are stereotypically known for.
Yep.
Here's your trash can. You can bang on that when you need to call somebody.
Oh, you need to signal. That's how you signal people with the trash can.
I flew into Dallas. I wish I had flown into Houston, and that the guys guiding the planes in with their lights were just using trash cans, just banging on that. It would have been a fun time. Gritty, I don't know if you know what Gritty is. Gritty is a mascot, I believe, for the Philadelphia Flyers. There was a video out of him on Twitter, with somebody holding a sign next to him that says Gritty learned this from the Astros, and it's that simple, like that dun 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 cheer that every stadium ever does. But Gritty's doing it with a trash can which has the Houston Astros logo on it and a drum mallet. Then he's just jamming out to the thing, and then he finishes the whole thing and just throws it all. And I'm just like, I'm a fan of all of this. Anyway, yeah. So I was in Dallas for a week. So games didn't happen. Yeah. I managed to watch 2 3/4 movies on flights.
That's good.
I managed to watch Ad Astra.
Thoughts?
You can skip it.
Okay. Skip an Ad Astra.
Yeah, it was like whatever. Nah, it didn't really ring the great like, yes, I should tell people to watch this. Watched 3/4 of Spider-Man Far From Home. I have 20 minutes left in it, I think. I like it.
Okay, that's good.
I just gotta finish it. And then I watched The Dead Don't Die.
That's the one I'm most curious about. Got a rock star cast.
It does. Meh.
Nah.
Meh.
Meh.
I liked it better than Ad Astra,
mm-hmm.
but not better than Spider-Man. I mean, it was kind of like a all right, whatever movie. Like if I was to sit down, right?
Not funny?
Moments,
Oh.
but it was definitely a movie where I'd be like, all right, cool. We're all clearly doing something else that's on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, let's all sit around and play a game. Put that on in the background. Not, hey, let's all have a movie night. What movie do we want to watch? The Dead Don't Die. Like, that wouldn't be my suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I wanted to like it a lot more, but it just doesn't do anything.
I kind of was expecting it to be good, and I've been meaning to watch it, but haven't had a chance. That was not me.
That's what I was just making sure. There's moments, but it's not much more than the trailer.
Okay.
I think. In terms of like, if you watch the trailer, you understand where the other punches are going to get thrown. And it's just kind of like, all right. So, anyway. I was also delayed on my way back. First off, this whole trip started off terribly. I went to leave the house Sunday morning to fly down. And it had snowed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Going into Sunday.
That was the joke.
It had snowed Saturday. And
because for the viewers at home.
Yeah.
How many attempts is this?
This is the fourth attempt. Combined for us to take this class. This is my specifically third attempt.
Yeah.
First attempt was Boston. That was canceled. Second attempt for me was to supposed to have flown out to Washington, D.C. to do it. Then we got hit with a snowstorm, so that got canceled. And this was attempt number 3 specifically for me.
Which was also a snowstorm that weekend.
Yes, which there was a snowstorm on Saturday, which its effect hung over into Sunday. So I went to leave the house, specifically left way earlier than I needed to. My driveway had not been plowed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already getting a little risky.
Yeah.
Went to leave the driveway. Knew I'd probably have to gun it a little bit to get out into the road. As I'm thinking about doing that, car comes down the road. So I've got to slow down. Didn't really feel like going backwards. Probably should have. Went forwards and just hoped. Beached my car at the end of my driveway.
Nice.
I'm now stuck in my driveway, needing to get to the Syracuse airport to fly.
Yeah.
No better way this could start.
Yeah.
After about 20 minutes, or maybe less, I ran back, grabbed a shovel, and was just shoveling out every part of underneath the car I could think would potentially lower this thing so I could get traction again.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got it out and was able to make my way. Get down to Utica, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything's fine.
Yeah.
Utica's fine. The entire throughway is entirely fine. It's just terrible.
Mm-hmm. It's just this area. Like, you clearly got snow today, I'm assuming.
Last night.
Yeah. We got rain.
Yeah.
So I have hardly no snow at my house right now because
There's an
melted.
invisible line if you're coming up the hill right after you get up out of Utica and then you kind of go down and you come up again. There's an invisible line on that upswing where it will you could go from rain to white out.
Mm-hmm.
And you could visibly see it happen. And it would happen when we used to work together and we'd be leaving at 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, great, I'm screwed. And everybody'd be like, nah, you're fine. I'm like, you don't understand where change in elevations happen.
Yeah.
Because I am going to be screwed. But that's not the point. So that started the trip off great. Managed to get to the airport and get down there. So that's further than we've gotten so far. Down there, get checked in. Grab some food, do the class, grab some food, do the class, that whole thing. Then I go to leave. So go to DFW to fly back. On the plane, we are sitting at the gate, and they're like, all right, cool. They're having a little bit of trouble with the water. It's going to be a few minutes so they can shut off that valve or whatever. Or shut the doors or the valve, whatever. Like, that's fine. All right, I'm not worried. They come back. All right, they're having problems doing that, so they need to go in. I think they said in through the cargo luggage area to try to reach it. Might be 20, 30 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, now we're getting closer because I think I had a planned hour and a half layover in Chicago. And then they come back and they're like, they weren't able to do that either, so now they're just going to drain the water. So maybe another 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my God, we still have 10 minutes of taxi time before we actually take off. Plus land and then taxi from the runway to the gate again. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to make this, but I didn't have another option. There was no, Like, all right, redirect a different, get off this flight and then figure something out. Like, there was just no good way for me to go about it. So we left. We went to Chicago. We get to Chicago, try to get to the connecting. I get over the connecting doors, and I see flight closed, and then out the window I see the bridge getting pulled away from the aircraft, and I'm just, son of a bitch. Mind you, this is like 7 o'clock in Chicago. Apparently, nobody else was flying to Syracuse out of Chicago that night. So me, my coworker, and about, 15 other people that were on our plane from Dallas are now stuck in Chicago and had to get put up in a hotel to extend my trip by one more night. Right after Matt said, hey, I said, let's do it on Saturday. And then Matt texted me right before my plane left Dallas, hey, how about Sunday? As if he knew I was not coming back Saturday or Friday or anytime respectively Saturday.
Yeah. I wanted the extra day, so I called, and I was like, hey, we got a leaky valve.
And I would have just given it to you anyway. No need to delay me, but you did. And so, that was a lot of fun. Not really. But that's really it. I mean, I watched those 3 things. I didn't read the baseball book. Instead, I read my training book the entire time because I needed to focus.
Yeah, that makes sense. Looked like it was some enjoyable reading.
It was some reading. Yeah, I don't know if it was enjoyable. I'm happy it's over because now I can take the time I was using to study to do other things now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I don't feel guilty for doing other things. Like, oh, I'm going to have fun. I should really study, but I'm going to have fun. Like, now I can take that.
I feel yeah. There's this book on beer I was supposed to read like so long ago. Have not done it.
Yeah.
Have not done it. I'm supposed to do something similar, take the certification test. And that's just been sitting like in an email.
Yeah, now I've got to finish the baseball book. That's my next like read. It's still been my read, but I got to finish that, and then I got 5 books maybe for Christmas. So I'm right into reading after that. I did play some Call of Duty last night though.
Call of Duty.
Sat down
doing the duty.
Sat down with some Call of Duty. Todd and I were playing. There was a game mode called Shoot the Ship, which puts you either on Shoot House or Shipment, 2 very small close quarters craziness maps.
Mm-hmm.
We had some fun times. We were just slaughtering people. I think one game I went 48-7.
Nice.
In a very, very close quarter match, and I was like, I feel like I died a lot more than 7 times. Scoreboard coming up at the end and it said 48-7, and I was like, okay, don't know what happened. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good, enjoyable time. Which is a weird thing to say after Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a good time playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was. So anyway. I think that's it. I think this is all we need to talk about. I'll preface it now before we get to the other stuff, but apparently Kobe Bryant has now died, which is shocking.
It is shocking.
And depressing.
Yeah. It
and
looks
disappointing.
like a helicopter accident.
Yeah, and it looks like one of his daughters might have also died on that same accident.
There's
So, I mean,
when I was looking, there was conflicting reports. Some news agencies were saying that some family members were with him, and then some were saying that's not true. So
yeah, so I don't know the extent. I think the only thing everybody was agreeing on is that Kobe has now left, and it sucks for somebody that I watched for that long, and having just retired a few years ago, and was just congratulating LeBron on passing him on this all-time scoring sheet last night or 2 nights ago. So it was weird when I'm scrolling through social media and then, or I'm just on Twitter and people are like, all of a sudden just posting like Kobe highlights and stuff. And I'm like, wait, well, why is this happening? And then I find out and I was like, well, shit, that sucks. But
it's crazy how quick those things can, I don't know, like
it sucks, man.
It's always bizarre when it's something like, I'm not into basketball, but you know the name, you know who he is, like, how important he is to the sport. and then something like this happens. Like the one that really got me initially, when I was like, I think at the age where when I really realized that people who were, meaningful in my life in that way were going to start passing away, was when Robin Williams died. And
that one sucked.
It was suicide. So like that kind of had an extra little bit of tinge there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh fuck,
it begins
where I'm at that age. Like this is a thing.
Yep.
And it's always like when it's suicide or a helicopter accident or whatever the case may be, it's just a little bit worse, I feel like, just because it's like, what could that person have done? He was only a couple years out of retirement, into retirement. So like, you don't know what his plans were.
Yep.
For the future.
Yep. It sucks. So, yeah. On the upside of things, terrible transition. I'm aware of it. I know.
On the upside, you can play a new video game.
Yeah, if you want to do what the majority of us do when we get depressed, hide inside of video games in other worlds. Remove yourself from the current one. And because this is the podcast that we do this on, I have new suggestions of places you can hide in that are all out right now. Matthew. Let's discuss starting at number 1. Nah, screw this. I'm reading them in reverse. Starting at number 9. 9-1. These aren't ranked in any way, but I just want to do it this way. Starting at number 9. Rugby 20 for the Xbox. Want to play some rugby? Boom. Xbox. It's got you. Escape from Chernobyl for the Switch. Don't know. Sounded like, obviously Chernobyl things. We do that here.
Yeah.
There's Chernobylite poster over there now. And the cards, because the Polish people finally sent them.
Oh, nice.
The DualShock 4 back button. While that is not a world you can escape to, it is something you can use to augment yours.
People are way more ravenous for that thing than I would have expected.
Really? Really hunting for it?
Yeah. I'm like...
How many did you get? 2?
3.
Ooh, how fast they go. Yeah.
Gone. It's people banging the doors in to get them in the morning.
Also, if you wanted to, move into a different sport, you could go to Soccer Tactics Glory for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Now, I want you to just look at the way the title is written, Matt. That is Soccer, Tactics, Glory.
Yes.
So that is not Soccer Tactics Glory, like the soccer Tactics and Glory. No, you have soccer. Then you have tactics. And then you get glory.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just the way commas read to me is that way of it's like, in a world, soccer. In a slightly different world that's kind of conjoined to this one, tactics. And when you put both of them together in a slightly weirder third world, you get glory.
Now I'm genuinely curious what that game entails.
So do I, because I'm not PC, so I don't know what that means. Balthazar's Dream for the PlayStation. You know who Balthazar is?
Some religious figure of some kind, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure. I just remember it from Guild Wars because you could get Balthazar's blessing, I think, on the PvP island.
Yeah, I think it's some angel or fallen angel of some kind.
It might be a war type of thing. Yeah. Temtem for the PC. Temtem is supposed to be that Pokemon-esque MMO. Oh, I'm 100% looking into this like after you leave.
Okay.
So I might report back next week with its status.
Okay.
Shadow Legend VR for PlayStation. Oh boy. Sikyo Shooting Stars Alpha?
That sounds Japanese.
It is. For the Switch. And Deer Simulator. Your average everyday deer game. For PC.
That could be fun because deer are assholes.
They are.
Generally. And they make funny noises.
Yes, they do. They definitely do that.
They run inside of cars. They eat your garden. They stare at you in the morning. Like you disturb them for some reason when they're standing in front of your car.
They stare at me in the evening.
Yeah.
You're the only ones I know that can actually sing the song I Wear My Sunglasses at Night. So I can run to the side of cars. Anyway, shall we touch the news?
I suppose.
Shall you... Hold on, Matt. Why don't you take number one?
Number one, numero uno. Activision Blizzard and Google announced a multi-year strategic partnership covering esports broadcasts and cloud services.
Strategic. Money. They worked into a money partnership.
They're playing Soccer Tactics Glory, apparently. Under the agreement,
on Stadia.
Under the agreement, Google-owned YouTube will be the worldwide exclusive streaming partner, outside China, of course, for live coverage.
Because why would we get in Zubu's way?
I know, right? Where was I? Outside for live coverage, the publisher's entire range of esports competitions. That includes the inaugural Call of Duty League, which Nate told me earlier has been postponed due to the death we just spoke of.
It was at least postponed for today, I believe.
I think it began on the 24th and it's running through the weekend. The third season of Overwatch League, which starts February 8th. It also covers Hearthstone and World of Warcraft esports competitions. As for the other part of the agreement, Google Cloud will be Activision Blizzard's preferred cloud services provider.
I mean, it's interesting.
It is. It kind of, gives Amazon a little bit of the shaft, which is good. Competition's always good.
This just moves all of Blizzard's game onto Stadia sooner.
That's true.
Wow, in the cloud.
Can you imagine that? Like, can you imagine trying to play, like, I don't know, just the thought of, like, World of Warcraft or something like that over Stadia?
Potentially doesn't bother me that much, actually. Would potentially be the best thing to do it. One of the best things to do over Stadia. I mean, technically, Assassin's Creed and stuff like that would be the best, where you're single player experience and you're reliant only on yourself. And I don't think I forgot I bought these pants with like one stitch missing, and the stitches that are missing are right here, so they really hug my upper thigh. So like trying to do one of these, it's a little tight sometimes. Anyway, sorry.
Pants, man. That's I can never seem to get those right.
I've got great pairs of pants. About 4 of them need stitching though. So eventually I'm going to have to learn how to sew again.
All mine are just split right in the crotch. So
that's the majority. Mine get like that frayed.
Yep.
Like right underneath where the seam is, and it's just like, oh, cool. That's great. You guys want to see my boxers?
Yep.
Oh, I wasn't wearing any. Bad news. Anyway, pant tangent. I'm wearing a shirt that says tangents. Oh,
what were we talking about?
So, World of Warcraft on Stadia would probably be fine for like its PvE mechanic stuff, at least to an extent. But I wouldn't want a PvP on it where I need to be precise and when I can interrupt things and stuff like that. The PvE version wouldn't be terrible. Air quotes, like it would definitely be affected still by lag, because there are times where it's like I need to be in this spot at this specific time. Oh, it thought I was in the fire and I'm dead. Like,
yeah,
those would be problems. But it would be interesting to at least explore the idea of why Hearthstone's out there. I don't understand. That should be easy. Like that shouldn't. I mean, it's a card game. You just there's no reaction time usually. It's just you move things around. But whatever. Interesting still.
Yeah, interesting to see where it goes.
I think the YouTube streaming is also the interesting part, because I know they stream on Twitch.
Well,
or did
they did? Yeah, that's what
all their WoW stuff and
that's what I left out was basically they were essentially affiliated with Twitch and Amazon Web Services.
Yeah,
and now they've
which is it's just an interesting pivot. We'll see. Number 2, Telltale's The Walking Dead is returning to digital storefronts this week on both the Nintendo Switch and Steam. Skybound Entertainment will publish all 4 seasons of the series on Nintendo Switch and Steam this week, according to US Gamer. The special episode 400 Days will be included with The Walking Dead complete first season on the Switch and will be available as DLC on Steam. Michonne will also be available for separate purchase on Steam, but Skybound did not say if it would appear on the Switch. As for the remainder of Telltale's works, some, such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Tales from the Borderlands, great game, and Minecraft are currently in limbo. However, late last year, LCG Entertainment relaunched the Telltale Games brand, retaining licenses to The Wolf Among Us and Telltale's Batman. The Wolf Among Us 2 was announced as in development at the Game Awards in December.
Telltale making a comeback. Now split up, though, a bit.
Telltale making a comeback the same way THQ Nordic makes comebacks?
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
It's just going to be weird now that it's split. And they both... I mean, I'm assuming they got the Telltale part, like the usage of Telltale with those IPs.
That would make sense. But...
So, like, if they start making, new versions of that IP, does it still retain the Telltale moniker, or do they have to call it something else?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
This is going to be... It's all new for all of us.
Do I look like a lawyer? I know I pretend sometimes on episodes I'm a lawyer, but do I look like one? No. You imagine a lawyer walking like me into court right now? Your Honor, I object.
I object.
Sustained. I want to approach the bench. Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
What else can you fit in there?
I object. Come on, I got no. Cross-examine the witness.
Yeah.
Can I enter this exhibit into court?
I'd like a
gavel bang.
Yeah, gavel bang.
That's always a good one.
Not the words. Motion to recess. Maybe.
Oh yeah, you just make a motion.
Yeah, you could just make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, and then you do the Johnny Bravo thing where you just. That's a reference to some TV show that I can't remember. Fairly Odd Parents, maybe.
I don't know, man. I'm out.
I want to make a motion. And that's just exactly what it was. I think it was Cosmo. Somebody fact check me on that part only.
Number 3. The viral online controversy of the week seems to be going to Rocket League.
Oh, all right. Well, that could have been a lot of other things, actually.
Epic Games owned Psyonix announced that it will stop supporting Rocket League on macOS and Linux starting in March. Psyonix says it will release a final patch on both platforms that month that will turn off online features, which means you won't be able to play online multiplayer anymore. You still will be able to play matches with your friends in front of your computer, though. As you may have guessed, the backlash on this announcement was quick and decisive. There's plenty of back and forth between the online community and Psyonix PR. Basically, at this point, the developer is offering refunds for the base game, but not DLC. As of yesterday, though, customers were still getting denied refunds. Psyonix finally gave some reasoning for the termination of support in a statement on Reddit. In the near future, they are migrating to a 64-bit game client and from DX9 to DirectX 11. DirectX 11 is a proprietary tech owned by Microsoft, so it isn't available on other platforms. Many Rocket League fans are calling this a PR spin, though. And just for reference, I went through some of the conversation and discussion, and a lot of people were suggesting that they move to Vulkan. Vulkan, what did I write? Vulkan does not support Unreal Engine 3, which is what Rocket League's on. And naturally, people were like, well, why don't they just move to Unreal Engine 4? They are totally different. So, like, quote unquote, porting a game on Unreal Engine 4 or 3 to Unreal Engine 4 is like you might as well just build the whole thing from scratch.
Interesting.
So it seems like a legitimate reason for someone who has no idea really how the nitty-gritty of game development works. So
I'm curious what the numbers look like at that point. Like how many people are actually affected?
Yeah, that, and also the numbers on so moving from DirectX 9 to DirectX 11 and, the 32 to 64-bit client, the resources you're going to spend on that versus if you were just to migrate to Unreal Engine 4 or whatever the case may be.
I don't know. I'm specifically intrigued to see how many people it actually affects.
Oh, I'm sure not a lot, but it's the Epic Games thing, it's Epic Games. Everything they do is evil.
Yeah. We here at Epic Games would like to hate you. Number 4. Nintendo fans in Europe got some bad news this week. A new court ruling sided with Nintendo's ongoing practice to not let users cancel digital pre-orders. According to Norwegian gaming site Pressfire, the consumer authorities of Norway and Germany sued Nintendo for not letting users cancel digital pre-orders purchased from the eShop. The case went to court at the end of last year, and this week the court ruled in favor of Nintendo, meaning it can continue the practice for now. Pressfire reports that the German Consumer Authority has appealed the ruling.
Where do you fall on this?
I want to make sure that I didn't just read that and I actually read it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You should be able to cancel pre-orders.
I feel that same way.
That's my stance. You should 100% be able to cancel pre-orders. Mm-hmm. Why would you not be able to?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like, I don't get... I guess no, that's not really an argument, but my thing is, don't pre-order. Like,
right. I mean, this goes all back.
We've learned this a few times now that you can get bit.
And I've preached it for years on this show. Don't pre-order. The only time I will pre-order is the game is coming out next week. Like, hey, Matt, did you hear there's a game coming out on Tuesday? It's Friday. I'm going to pre-order it.
Yeah. Like if you want to preload, that type of thing.
Yeah, preload. You got 24 hours left to get the first bonuses or whatever, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'll take care of that. But for the majority of time, unless it's like a Kickstarter type thing, in which case even then I'm skeptical. The only reason I kickstarted Chernobylite is because I've met the people and I know what they're doing. Mm-hmm.
See, in my mind, pre-ordering like the true what you think of as pre-ordering, the traditional pre-ordering, is a completely separate.
Like pre-ordering Final Fantasy VII when it got announced.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was foolish.
It is not only foolish, but something I would never do. Pre-ordering Shenmue, I would have never done. Actually, putting money toward Shenmue, period, I would never do. But that's a different discussion. Yeah. Any of those ones that the pre-order, if I pre-order something longer than a week in advance, that's not a console, I know is guaranteed to come out at that point for the most part, or it's something I'm not like horribly worried about, and it's something I really want. I will be pre-ordering the show 2020, but I'm not worried that will come out. Even if it doesn't come out at the exact date that they're saying right now, and it comes out like 2 weeks later or a month later, which has happened before, fine. I still want it, and I'm still going to play it, and it's not going to shape my answer of my pre-order. Because I also don't pre-order things like on accident, if that makes sense. Which I don't know if this is the case, that people were pre-ordering things on accident, or people were just like, yeah, I pre-ordered this whatever thing.
Are we on the show 20 or 19?
We're on 19. We'll be 20.
Okay.
That is the one sports game that encompasses the year that it takes place during.
Something clicked off in my head when you said the show 20 that we'll come to later. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, a lot of it all depends on situations, but I could see people like pre-ordering the new Halo and then being like, all right, well, I want to pull my pre-order back because I have no idea when that's coming out, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But I also go back to don't pre-order. You shouldn't have to get to this point to pre-order.
You definitely shouldn't be pre-ordering this far out. And it's not like, I'm not saying that condescendingly. I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it too. And I'm not disagreeing with the consumers fighting for their right to be able to cancel a pre-order, because you should be able to cancel a pre-order. Mm-hmm. That's
no different than returning a game unopened or whatever, game, like whatever the case.
Like, and you don't even have it yet. You gave them money on technically a promise, which is debatable at that point.
Yeah. But, especially like that's the thing is it is debatable, because like in my mind, if I pre-order a game and then that game gets pushed, you're breaking the original agreement.
Yeah, so, and technically I'm an investor, so now I'm more pissed.
Yeah.
Now I'm no longer just a consumer. And as we all know, game companies love to please their investors. You guys want that fiscal year money? Mm-hmm.
Number 5. Alleged photos have appeared online of a prototype Xbox Series X unit that may give some indication as to what Microsoft is preparing to ship. First appearing on Twitter and corroborated as authentic by Thurot's Brad Sams. That's such an unfortunate name.
That sentence is unfortunate.
Yeah. The images show the Series X's vents, 2 USB-A ports on the back, 1 on the front, a single HDMI out, an optical audio port, Ethernet, and a power in.
Why not USB-C?
Bro, I don't know. I mean, technically,
you can go A to C.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Why not just also have a C port on there?
See, I don't really care about the USB-C part of it. I don't get everyone's obsession with USB-C. Like, there's this whole European movement to force Apple to abandon Lightning port and go to USB-C, and I don't fucking get it.
That part, I don't care so much about them abandoning Lightning port. My part with moving forward to USB-C is the moving forward the technology anyway, because a lot of people still use USB-A 2.0 ports.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
My issue...
We have 3.0. We have faster speeds. We have the technology,
I have a fundamental...
We can make him better, stronger, faster, and it doesn't cost $6 million.
I have a fundamental issue with USB-C, and it could just be me.
And you don't have to get it. You have to plug it in wrong the first time.
I get that part of it
wrong.
But all the USB-C cables I've used, and that includes the good ones, the Google ones, because I got the Pixel, as do you, and the cheap ones. The fucking thing breaks on them. Like after
what part?
I don't know what the fucking name is. The thing itself, the
connector?
The connector always ends up getting loose and coming out.
Never have had that yet.
Probably because you don't use traditional. How do you charge your phone at night?
Yeah.
Do you use the cable?
I charge my phone.
Or do you have a wireless charger? What do you do?
No, mine doesn't have the wireless charging because it's a 3A.
Okay.
So if I'm on my computer,
you use that
stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Cable if I'm next to my bed.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the car, cable.
So my deal is I use a cable as well in those same situations. I'm not abusive.
I use exactly the Google charger, the one that comes with it, on my nightstand.
For whatever reason, I don't know what fucking maybe it's Milo. I don't know.
Maybe.
But all I can think of is the fact that the phone is on the nightstand and the cable's hanging off the nightstand.
Yep.
It's torquing on the end of it.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have any of that problem. And when I charge it in the car, usually I'm not using it for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's head down, ass up, and plugged in that way.
And
not the rest of that song lyric. I know some people started singing it, but
there's some other. I have some other design issues. Everyone always hails the USB-C as being great, and I'm all for universal things, but I do think in this instance, and it sucks because it's proprietary. But I think the Lightning port and the Lightning connector is just superior.
Now here's where we can disagree and we can have. I don't want to.
I don't
want to start this fight, man.
I know. I'm just saying objectively, outside of the fact that it's an Apple product and that it's proprietary. If it wasn't either of those things, it would be perfect.
I still disagree because I hate exposed connections. Vehemently hate them. And when you're done dying,
I'm dying over here.
I hate those with a passion. And my thing is, at least for the A to the C, in the instance that we're discussing,
yeah,
I hope for my sanity that your charge cable, that your controllers are C and not micro.
Micro is definitely shittier
because that's more really where this comes, where I'm attacking this from, is not the initial A connection, because yes, some things you will need to use an A for, but I'm attacking it from, I hope it's an A to a C for the controller charging, not A to micro, because a lot of things you're moving towards now, whether people want it or not, are moving to C, not micro. And that's where I compare the two, C and micro, not C and A.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it on the other end of the cable, where it wouldn't hurt necessarily to have a C to C plug on this board either, just above one of the, still have the 2As and just have a C option there. So I could grab my Google cable, which is C to C, and go down and charge my phone while I play things.
Yeah. The irritation comes in for me. I do think the C has issues because it still has fragile parts on it, whether they're exposed or not.
So
but the cable,
it's that tininess gets you every time.
The fucking cable is another thing though, because I found out when I first got my Pixel.
But cables are not dependent on what we're talking about.
I know, but
cables and adapters are two very different things.
Listen, Linda, listen,
Karen, don't you start with me.
So I got my Pixel and I have the USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I quickly learned the hard way that the fucking cable issue where like half your cables are USB-C to USB-C and then you need another, storehouse of USB-A to USB-C cables because there's more USB-A ports in various locations than USB-C ports.
Now that I don't disagree with you in this statement.
Okay, let's get going. We're only halfway through this.
I'm not saying C to C is the end all be all. Yeah. I'm saying my problem is with C to micro USB.
Yeah, USB-C or micro USB is just, it needs to be gone.
Right, and replace it with USB-C. And then I'm saying just for convenience factor and being nice, you could just have the tiny little, slit above the A that is just boom. Mm-hmm. There, I could plug it in if I so chose.
Yeah.
But your default cable that you give me could still be A to C, and I'd be like, cool, man, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for trying to accommodate me.
True. That's the true.
Let's Cloud Atlas.
The unit is marked with a serial number and labeled as Xbox product name placeholder. Even assuming the photo's authenticity, they shouldn't be taken as indicative, oh boy, of a finished product that isn't set to be released in almost a year. It's more than possible that Microsoft could alter the design or whatever the case may be. Who cares? The important thing is that it's interesting to see certain hardware decisions that were made by Microsoft, like the removal of the Xbox One's HDMI in, which is the final backtrack from Xbox's focus on TV features. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, can you forget it?
So yeah, there you go. There's a teaser, I guess, of things to come.
I mean, you had a hell of a story there. I mean, you had corroborated, authentic, indicative, authenticity.
It's not helping that I literally almost just drowned myself with water, and I am having trouble talking now.
I'm trying to waterboard yourself over there. Oh, I gotta show you something. This might not look as good as it was when I did it, but it's just too funny for me. Yo, you like my sweet Ray water tat that I got out of a box of cereal?
Hell yeah. Awesome.
I was like, I gotta do this one before Matt gets over here. Is it too funny?
That's great. I hope to get stuck there for like a week.
No, I could
not that you'll ever have an instance where like someone will see it.
Maybe even then, I could also just go and just be gone.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you can tell from over there. The light's not great in here. I'm getting a lot more gray.
Are you?
It's now here. Now it's going down here. You can see it coming down here.
Look at the thinning.
Oh, are you starting?
Yeah, it's real bad. I actually started looking at. I think we talked about it last time. I'm looking at some preventative hair loss treatments.
I know a few.
Yeah, all the podcasts.
All the podcast sponsors. Hims.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started. I noticed it more, and I'm getting my hair cut on Tuesday. As I was down there, I was like, "Oh, my hair is I feel like shaggy. I feel way too long." But I noticed it getting more in the side here, and then I started, I think, seeing it come up through the back, and I was like, "All right, well, hey."
Yeah, I mean, it kind of blends because you have lighter hair, so it blends in a little bit better. But you can see it.
It's definitely in the sides.
Was it Mr. Fantastic who has the silver streaks on the side?
Yeah, but hopefully I don't suck in as bad of a movie as that. I am still elastic though, ladies.
Hey.
Number 6, rumors are making the rounds again of a Knights of the Old Republic remake. This time it was kicked off by the website Cinelinx. Quote, according to one source, the previously mentioned Knights of the Old Republic remake is back in development. My other source added to that saying they felt it wasn't so much a remake, but a sequel of sorts. It would be a Knights of the Old Republic project that would integrate elements from the first 2 games in order to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon. Not necessarily a remake so much as a reimagining, end quote. Y'all like Revan?
This, I'm not thrilled about this, obviously.
Hold on. I want the part where Matt says he's not thrilled about the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
If it was just a straight, like, remaster or whatever the fuck we're calling, like, these things that they do now. Because there's remasters, remakes, reimaginings. I don't know which one's which. I just want the same game pretty. Maybe a little rework or something, add in a little bit more content.
Those are called texture packs, Matt.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But this, I don't like the idea of them taking 2 games. The 2 games are just being like, we like this, we like this, we like this. Oh, make it a game. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that Disney hired Mario to do its new Star Wars things. Oh, we take it a canon and we make it a trilogy. Oh, no one like? I had pepperoni.
Exactly.
So every time, if I do that voice again, it's going to get real close to saying another quote from another YouTuber, and it's not going to be good.
So yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah, it's we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have a horse in the race, so
yeah, I just think it's not a smart business decision to take the original Knights of the Republic is considered like one of the best RPGs.
Okay then.
Like, top 25, I guess, or whatever. Safely top 25.
Name the other 24. Are you a real gamer? Name the other 24.
And probably many consider it one of the best Star Wars games.
Yeah.
So you're playing with fire, Disney. Your track record ain't so great.
But when have they not played with fire? Y'all like Indiana Jones? You guys want Shia LaBeouf?
I love Shia LaBeouf, though. I mean, he was not good in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but I feel like you love him more as a meme than you do as his actual ability to act anymore.
I just like him as a person.
Did you watch his new movie?
Which one? Peanut Butter Falcon or Honey Boy?
Honey Boy.
Honey Boy, I haven't watched yet, no. It looks fucking good, though.
Did you watch Peanut Butter Falcon?
I watched most of it, and what I saw of it was good. Right. It's one of those movies that, I can't finish a movie to save my life. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just, once again, complete tangentially thinking of things. I was like, I feel like I should be able to do an Adam Driver voice, but I can't do it.
Adam Driver, did you see the new SNL skit?
No.
Oh, that's one of the things we should have watched. They brought back the fucking undercover boss thing.
Yeah.
They did it again.
I think I saw a thumbnail.
Yeah, it's like, where are they now or whatever? Yeah. Except it's Randy, the intern. And
okay. Yeah. All right, we'll have to watch it.
Number 7, the Game Developers Conference will be held soon. It's the March 16th through the 20th. As usual, the organizers have conducted a survey among the game developers.
My favorite survey of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
to
go through.
The only one that matters.
Yeah, and you know what? Not a lot has changed.
Not surprised.
I just pulled out some ones that I, might be interesting.
I'm intrigued to hear them.
We'll run through them. The first one is, do you think that workers in the video game industry should unionize? Yes.
Oh, all right. I was going to guess answers.
Oh, do you want to guess?
No, I mean, yes. Yes is my guess.
47% said yes.
Ooh, I can guess percentages too? Nice. All right, cool.
Maybe was 26%.
Maybe is an answer?
No was 16%.
Oh, okay.
And don't know was 11%.
Other than the yes people, I think don't know and maybe, aren't they the same answer?
They are kind of the same answer.
These are the ones where it's partly cloudy and mostly sunny, and really, I want to smack a weatherman when I hear it. Weatherman, weatherwoman, whatever. I'm not gonna judge who I hit for saying stupid things.
That's good.
That's not a sentence I want, actually. Strike that from the record.
PC is still by far the most popular platform for developers.
Hold on. I want to be shocked really quick, man.
Okay. Percentage of people that are currently developing a PC game?
How many options are there? Is it just
it's
a
percentage?
Single percentage? Okay. So, well, I didn't know if there was yes, no, maybe, don't know again.
That's just a single percentage on this one.
68.
Very close. 66.
I'm on the next article on my version of the doc, just so you know.
All
right, 66.
And the percentage of people who they plan on their next game being on PC.
79.
It's lower than the first one.
Oh, it's lower than the first one.
Not by much, though.
59.
62.
All right, well.
So 62% anticipate their next game will be on PC, and 66% are currently developing a game on PC.
See, that I feel like that should be higher just by
whatever. It's about in line for what past years have been.
I feel like the way the 66, unless I'm reading 66 wrong, 66 should be at least 66.
What do you mean?
The 66% one?
Yeah.
Read me what the statement is again for it.
66% are currently developing a game for PC.
So how do 66% of people also not believe that their game will be released on PC?
No, it's developers who anticipate their next game will be on PC. Like,
isn't that what that statement means?
They're currently developing game, and then their next project after the currently developed one.
Oh, I guess I'm not. I don't.
They use weird statements in the survey.
I don't agree. I believe it's at least 66%, and I'll take the 4% variance and add that on, so we're at 70%. Believe. That's not how math works in that scenario, by the way, but that is how I'm doing it.
We're gonna let it fly. Nearly 1 in 4 of respondents who had launched a game on Switch said it had sold better on Switch than on other platforms. So 24% of developers said, hey, we launched the game on Switch and it sold better on Switch than other platforms.
24% sounds correct to say that.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't be your majority. If your majority said that, that'd be ludicrous.
That would be ludicrous. But that's a good percentage. I mean, that's
a quarter of your market, which is a lot of your indie darlings at that point. That could be like, oh yeah, we walked into the swamped PC market and nothing really worked, and then we went to a much more casual environment in the Switch, and everybody went, we love it. So
yep,
makes sense.
1 in 3 developers believe augmented reality will be the dominant immersive reality tech in 5 years.
Okay. You can ask that question for the next 5 years, and it will change every year, probably.
Maybe, although
virtual, augmented, mixed.
The percentages for the percentages for the VR people for like what their current project is for and what their next project is for was kind of interesting. So like the majority, the popular platform is HTC Vive now,
right?
But like overwhelmingly, like something like 60 to 70% of developers said that their next project was going to be on the Quest.
Huh.
Oculus Quest.
Quest is supposed to. I mean, I hear it's pretty good, but.
All right, where were we? Last one. There was a lot of media. Other media is hyping up that devs have more interest in the PS5, which was at 38%, versus the Xbox Series X at 25%. But I think it's somewhat invalid because they list the Xbox Series X as Project Scarlet. And based on the timing of everything, I think the survey was done prior to
Game Awards
and like Microsoft coming out with the Series X officially. And, you know, our previous stories, we're talking about how the companies were playing their cards really close to their chest.
Yeah.
So I just think that's what developers knew the most about. So naturally it fell that way. I'm assuming there's probably really parity there between the two.
Makes sense.
And that's it. That's it for the survey.
Oh, all right then.
There's a link if you want to check it out to some of the other survey shit.
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe in my time, not now.
So next up, we got the lightning round. I don't know if you want to do the whole thing. You want to go back and forth?
I'll do the whole thing. I'll do the whole thing. But boom, it's lightning round time.
Well, these are the little news stories that I feel like didn't require, the extravagant.
Dying Light 2 has been delayed via a statement on Twitter from Techland's CEO, and there was no information given about a new release window. Thoughts?
Add it to the pile.
Ooh, all right. That's not a good thought.
I mean, I didn't play the first Dying Light. I heard great things about it.
Very good.
I'm sure this one will be good too. You need more time, take more time, whatever.
Yeah, I was pumped that it was just existing. I hope it doesn't fall away into nothingness. The The first one was a lot of fun. I played through the entire thing co-op, and that made it, I think, a lot better. Red Dead Redemption 2 doubled its digital unit sales revenue from 406,000 units in November to 1 million in December. It launched on Steam on December 5th.
Yeah.
Pretty good numbers.
Yep.
Doom Eternal is apparently twice as long as its predecessor, according to creative director Hugo Martin. It will take you around 22 hours to get to the end. So about 18, maybe? as is usual with the way people assume timings. Nintendo Switch Pro rumors are making the rounds again. A news source out of Taiwan is saying that Nintendo that is not how you spell Nintendo, Matt, is working with NVIDIA that's not how you write that either, with NVIDIA on a custom processor to make games run smoother, and the new model would have an upgraded battery.
So this was the point in the morning, so I got up at 6 a.m. I got up at 6 a.m., ate some wings yesterday that did not agree with me. And this was the point in the dock where Samantha had woken up and was requiring attention.
Oh, so everything
I had to
went
bring
out
her
the window.
coffee. She was wondering what I was doing, why I wasn't in bed, all this good stuff. So this is probably about, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I like when I can look at the dock and see the progress of Matt's day as everything was being left alone and he could do things. Then when responsibility hit, everything goes south in the dock.
Yep.
Developer David Jaffe, known for God of War and Twisted Metal, said of Twitter that the PS5 reveal is less than 4 weeks away.
There's another one. Said of Twitter. Said on Twitter.
Said on Twitter. Yeah, said of Twitter that, yeah. Also, that coincides with what Nate's prediction is. So, ta-da! And now we walk into a grain of salt territory. And this is not like Salt Bay, and this is not us being salty. We're just, take it with a little pinch, little grain. One singular grain added onto your meal for this little tidbits of information. We start with, according to a 4chan leak, which, as we all know, 4chan's still a thing? These are the titles launching with the PS5. Gran Turismo 7. MLB The Show 21. Demon's Souls Remastered. Godfall. And a brand new IP from Sony Interactive Entertainment Santa Monica studio called Legends. The 4chan leak also claims that Sony will tease future releases during the reveal event as well, including a new Horizon Zero Dawn game, the sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, a new Crash Bandicoot game, a sci-fi game from Naughty Dog, Final Fantasy 16, a new Resident Evil game, and many more.
4chan leak, so who knows?
I think they're those all make sense.
Yeah, all of them.
Just MLB The Show 21 is wrong. I think that is flipped with another one, and that should have been actually in the section that says will be released later.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends because you know how they consider, how that's the thing now is like if it's inside a certain window, they consider it all launched with.
It wouldn't be launched with though, unless they push the PS5 into 2021. It's not even close to a launch window.
Well, what's it normally come out with? March? When does the show? So if it launches in November, if the console launches in November of 2020, and the game comes out in March of 2021, you're what, four months away?
Yeah. Do you consider that launch window?
I wouldn't, but that's what they consider launch windows. Is like 4 months, I think.
I don't like it. I don't agree.
Okay.
I believe the other ones are probably true, just that the show 21 isn't.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's 4chan, so these all could just be a bunch of horseshit.
Yeah, the entire thing could be a lie. Who knows? And on the next lightning round topic is Godfall was announced at the Game Awards and is the first confirmed PS5 game. Due to a leak, we were treated to some in-game footage that was later confirmed to be about a year old and used for internal presentation, and Matt and I think it looks like too human.
It does. But I was after the developer themselves confirmed it was real, and they were like, "Oh, that is actually real. We used it. That's from a year ago, and we're really glad that everyone likes it." And I was like, "Damn, that's your game a year ago. Good for you."
At the same time, I was like, "Okay, that's your game a year ago." And did you have? I had a couple problems, I think, with the trailer. Like, there was either so much going on screen that I couldn't tell what was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the animations, I was like, I don't know where my guy actually is in all this. Like,
mm-hmm.
how am I supposed to tell anything? And some of the camera angles were really weird. And I was like, oh yeah, Too Human did the same thing.
Yeah. I've watched it. This is, I think, the second or third time I watched it because I obviously watched it when I was looking for news.
Right.
And I felt that way on the first time I watched it. Watching it this time, it was like, I was acclimated to what I was going to see. It was much easier to keep track of the movement and everything, but you're not wrong.
Okay.
And, I guess that's the defense is it's a year.
Yeah, it's a year ago. So maybe
it's a year ago, and internal presentation, and
maybe it's all cleaned up.
They had cool particle effects. Looked pretty. I don't know. Cool. That's all I got.
That's all I got. So that was it. That was easy. It was done. It's over. It's 2 days late. It might be 3 days late by the time you're listening to it. Who knows? That being said,
I mean, if that's the case, you get 2 in 1 week.
That's true, depending on how you start your week. If you start your week on Sunday, you get 2 in a week. If you start your week on Monday, like every other normal human, well, it's on
See,
you.
at some point, I must have fell out of track with the rest of human society because I think of a week as Sunday to Saturday. But apparently everyone else thinks of it as like
Monday to Sunday.
Monday to Sunday.
That's what I do.
Since when, though?
Because I understand the way you're looking at it. If you look at a calendar, it's Sunday to Saturday.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, I get it.
But in my head, this is the end of my week because my work day starts Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm back to the grind until I get the weekend of Saturday.
That's what happens when you go to a normal work schedule. I'm on retail schedule. So.
Yeah, well, on retail schedule, I couldn't tell you where a week started or ended because
I know. That's why I look at a calendar. I'm saying those are the ends of the week.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what the end of the week was other than, exactly like that. Where you just look at it and you're like, physically, that is an end and that is another end. Therefore, those are the ends.
Retail.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a day off. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you in 5, maybe 6 days, depending on how everything goes, apparently. So, goodbye.